also, Dalai Lama says, you know, we don't have to make people afraid of death. They are afraid of death anyway. And those people who say I'm not afraid of death, they're quite rare. Those who really are not afraid of death, very often when death is far away, we say I'm not afraid of death. And even if you're not afraid of death, you know, you don't need fear to prepare for death. When we go on a journey, we prepare for the journey. You don't need to be afraid of the journey. Yeah? So then this will be a very important journey, and we think we don't need to prepare. Because the mind is used to prepare, even now more than in the past. Now with your telephones, where you can immediately, you know, Waze and Google Maps and all this, we stop kind of having any sense of direction, and we just follow that thing blindly. And if it's not working, then you wouldn't even know how to get home anymore.
This is the home.
Huh?
For many people, the smartphone is their home.
Yeah, but still they need to go a place where they live. So this is it. We have access to information like 24 hours a day, and an incredible amount of information. So we will not have it. So try not to be just dependent on that for a happy, open mind. So this is why we do it. The fear that is or should come up is, yeah, it is a kind of fear, but it's the being afraid of not doing what is helpful in your life for a peaceful death. That's the fear that we're trying to generate. But it's not panicky fear, it's an energy that gets us going and puts priorities and does it happily. And you know, it's like with every other thing also. There's sometimes we know I need to do this and we don't like to do it, and we have to push ourselves a little bit to do it. But then we're very happy when it's done. Much happier than not doing it. So this is a little bit what this is all about. So we try it. If at any point it gets too much or too heavy, don't put any pressure on you. Just get up, go out, take a few deep breaths and think, wow, I'm still alive. Time will come when I go, but I still have time to prepare. Try not to panic. Yeah? Tonight, in the evening meditation, we will kind of fake dying. We'll go through the death absorptions, but that one is very peaceful because we let go of all the crap. And nobody has died yet. Everybody has come back. So again, you know, if you would be able to not come back, this would be perfect. To die, wow, you know, going through all the steps in a very peaceful way. You will be able to lie down if you want also then tonight. So, yeah, you might fall asleep. But then you have a good method to go to sleep when you can't sleep. Yeah. Did you try out what I said yesterday, just to put your awareness on your breath? And what I forgot to say, this is what I usually do, like before every meditation, with your out breath to relax, to open up and to relax. You know, you go to wherever the body, the mind is. Also, when you are trying to go to sleep, you go to different parts of the body. With your in breath, you're there. With your out breath, you open up. It doesn't take long and you sleep. It's not from me. It's from the American Army in the Second World War. That's how they taught the soldiers to have short sleeps, even in the middle of bombs falling and battle and all this. Yeah, found it in the internet by coincidence because the YouTube is giving you all these things. So I thought I was interested, and I thought, wow. So and it's exactly that. It's being mindful, being with your breath, in breath, out breath, lying on your right side so your heart is free, and relaxing the different to go from bottom to top. Relax the bottom and slowly relaxing also then the face. Have you noticed that your face is not relaxed? When you sit, when you go there consciously, I see this. The first time I did it, I went like, wow, here. And then 2 seconds later, boom, it's back. Yeah, so then you have to go there again and again and again. Because that's the first step. In order to have a stable mind, the mind needs to be relaxed. In order for the mind to become clear, it needs to be stable. So these are the 3 steps that we do. Okay, so we'll try these 9 points. See whether you don't need to have a reaction to it. If you have a reaction to it, it's fine. Doesn't mean that it works better than for others. You just need. It's just good to contemplate these points. That's all you need to do. So again. again, always start with your body, awareness of body sensations. However, you ask the body, "Oi, what do you feel?" And you're totally there. And again, you can start with your feet and with your legs. By breathing in, you become aware of that area. And breathing out, you open up. You become spacious there. You think that down to the smallest cells, everything opens. And for that, you don't need to move. It's just done with the mind. Then you go to your buttocks, abdomen, belly, genitals, same thing. Breathing in, you totally know and experience what's going on there without any judging, just looking, just seeing. And by breathing out, you open up and become very spacious. As if you're breathing into a balloon and the balloon expands. To your chest and upper back, or you do them separately, whatever feels more comfortable. Shoulders, neck and throat. Breathing in, you're totally there with your awareness, knowing what's going on. Breathing out, becoming very spacious and open. You go down your arms to your hands. You feel the sensations in your hands. No need to kind of have an opinion about what is happening, just being aware of it, just experiencing it, living it, being with it. You come back up to your face to make that very soft, very open, no tensions. Relax all the muscles there. And especially around the eyes, so even your eyes are closed, let them drop. Let them roll downwards. It's very relaxing. Your front, or around the eyes, or the jaws, or around the jaws. Before we start the contemplation, if you want, you put your awareness on your breath. Wherever you feel it the best, wherever it feels comfortable to stay in that spot, be it the belly, or the chest, or the nose, or if you have your own technique how to do this, then you do that. main thing is that you experience directly your breath. Knowing in-breath for in-breath, knowing out-breath for out-breath. Again, before we start with being aware that we're going to die, a few moments of joy that we have this what is called precious human rebirth, with 8 freedoms and 10 endowments, and at the moment we're using it really well. To rejoice in that. To kind of even tell yourself, well done. So then in order to use it well without pushing, without becoming stressful, just in a very relaxed way to become aware of facts in our life, or truth if you want. It is true that death is absolutely certain. We somehow don't believe it. We see other people die around us, but then our own death, not so sure. So the reasons we give us is that everybody who has been born at one point has to die. Like people from 200 years ago, they're not here anymore. All the ants, all the flies, all the animals, all the birds, all the fish. They're not around in that form anymore. When somebody is sick, we always think that there must be something that is able to save them. But you know, even if you would have access to all the medical systems and all the doctors on this planet, the point will come where none of this will be able to help you. Where medicine fails. Even if you would be the most powerful person in the world, even all the armies would come to try to protect you, nothing can protect us from death. No outside thing. Even if you would go up to the highest mountain, down to the deepest ocean, or even into outer space, there's no place where you could say with certainty, here I am safe, here death cannot find me. Or even if you would be such a nice person that you would have all the religions at your side, everybody would kind of plead with their gods or Buddhas or Jesuses to save you from death. The moment will come for all of us where even that would not help. Not the Buddha, not God, not Jesus can protect us from death. So then the next point is that our lifespan is constantly decreasing. So we might have very lofty ideas what we want to do with our life, but do we have an idea every time in the evening we go to bed that we think or are aware of one day less, where I have time to fulfill my plans of leading a meaningful life? Nothing we can add to this lifespan, and we can not hold the process of approaching death moment by moment, second by second. So usually they compare our situation to this. They take this example. If you would be falling from an aeroplane without a parachute, you would be very well aware of death approaching. Now, our situation is not different. We're just not aware of it. We're also constantly traveling, moving towards our moment of physical dying. Then there's a certain amount of time that we have to spend, like working, earning money, looking after our friends, after that relationship, after family, also resting. It's also important in your spiritual practice to rest. But then we do have free time, but then again we fill it with maybe things that will not help at the time of death. Or even kind of spend time being nasty to somebody, nourishing our aversion towards them, our hate, kind of sharing our negative opinions about people or belief systems or groups of people. So we do a lot of things during the day to agitate our mind instead of making it peaceful. Now again, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't react if you can react to difficult situations or, unfortunate situations, but very often we cannot do anything. We just talk about it and then we get upset and angry. So the conclusion to these 3 points, maybe the free time that I have, I will spend it with nourishing the mind, nourishing positive mind states, kind of finding ways and means to calm myself down, even if things are not going the way I want them to go, meaning doing spiritual practices. Doesn't mean religion. It means training the mind. Make a decision to put some effort and some time into that. So the next main point is that The time of death is totally uncertain, and we talked about this afternoon. We don't have fixed lifespan. Every time, you can check it when we go down to dinner. So you choose whatever you think you want to eat, and you're totally certain that you will be able to finish your plate. Nobody takes into consideration that we might be dead before we finish eating the plate. That kind of certainty is totally unrealistic. Or all of us, we are certain that on Saturday evening we will go back home. How can we be so sure? It's unrealistic. We have a good chance that we will arrive back home on Saturday evening, but there's no guarantee. But we behave as if there is a guarantee. Every time you go on a plane, you're quite sure that this plane is not going to crash. Every time you go in the car, you kind of have this almost instinctive feeling that you shouldn't have an accident. You shouldn't get caught up in a traffic jam. And nobody should damage your car. It's also totally unrealistic, especially in this country with so many traffic jams. And we're always certain that we will arrive where we wanted to go. How can we be so sure? So then we also looked at there are so many causes around us that can cause death. It's very difficult to support life. Very easy to destroy it because the body is very fragile. When we're healthy, we think of this body as very strong. But then we see, something as small as a germ or a virus. We don't even see it entering the body, we don't even feel it, but it can make you sick. Or maybe cause an infection, like now in the hospitals, they have these infections where they don't have antibiotics that kind of get rid of them. And it can cause death, because there's no antidote for it. It's so small we can't even see it with our eyes. And it can attack this very fragile body. It's a fact. So then thinking about these points, we might come to the conclusion that if I want to start training the mind, it's better I start right now and I don't put it off. That should be the conclusion there. At least the decision. Then whether we do it or not, it's not sure, but at least once we thought, oh, that would be a good thing to do, to start right now. Practice patience, passion, love, wisdom, and using antidotes against the negative emotions. Studying them, learning about these things. So then the last point is that we start to look what will help at the time of death. And here, in terms of what will help, is like so that we're not falling into the lower state. Means what can make our mind calm, open, peaceful, unafraid, full of confidence. So we have to check, can it be your possessions? So go through them one by one. The ones you cherish so much, you're so happy having them. knowing that you have to leave them behind, is that going to make you peaceful, open, full of confidence? Just check. See all your cherished possessions being put into a box and thrown away. What happens when you think like this? You totally have to give up control. Now it becomes even more painful because another thing we have to leave behind is friends and family. You cannot take them with you. So try out some thoughts of, if I have to go now, may you not suffer so much. Or the thought, I'm going to lose you. What does make your mind open, calm, peaceful? Which thought? Or find other thoughts that instead of being narrow, tight, afraid, sad, that your heart opens. Maybe thanking them. Thank you very much for having been kind to me, for having given me love, care, nourishment, your parents, education. Definitely try to avoid thoughts which then produce feelings of, again, tightness, tension, thoughts like, I wasn't kind to you. Clear that up now. If you have a thought of regret, I didn't lead a meaningful life, may I do better in my next life? That will open your mind. If you get stuck in the past, you become very tense and very narrow, very unhappy. And then something we have to prepare ourselves also that we have to depart from is this body. Body that we know so well. It has been our constant companion since birth. We have experienced so many pleasures and so many pains with it. We have invested a lot of time, thought, care, and money. But at the time of death, we have to separate from it. We usually don't feel the attachment to this body because we don't think, when we say I, we kind of take the whole package. At the time of death, you have to leave it behind. We only feel attachment when there is fear of separation or when separation kind of occurs. So the less you identify with your body, the more peaceful you will be able to leave it behind, and the body gets, in this case here, probably buried. Switzerland, or as a Buddhist, it will get burned. So that thing that we cherish so much now, either it will rot away in the ground, or it will turn to ashes. So it definitely cannot help to prevent death because it does cause death, physical death. It is cannot serve as the support for the mind anymore. And in case you're a little bit agitated now, or a bit tense or tight, that would be good, because now is the time to look for something that is neither possessions, friends and family, or the body that you kind of depend upon for your happiness. That you can, something that you have access to. So again, that can be your teacher,